Hello folks, Samsung's latest trio of flagship smartphones, the S22 series, is likely to be one of the most popular choices for anyone shopping around for an Android handset in 2022. But with a range of sizes, specs and price points, which one is for you? The superior Galaxy S22 Ultra, the Galaxy S22 Plus, and the compact Galaxy S22. These phones have the best cameras, fastest processors, and most innovative features of any phone on the market. Nevertheless, smartphones have enough differences. Each one offers something a little different and at very different price points. So, in this video, I will tell you how smartphones differ from each other, what is essential and what is not in practical terms. The Galaxy S22 and S22 Plus are very similar in the design department, while the Ultra model feels like a phone of a different family. Well, it kind of is. The S22 Ultra is a direct successor to the Note series, with a more squared-off aesthetic that has a slot at the bottom left for the S Pen, which by the way comes bundled with the phone. In addition, the main cameras of the S22 Ultra also look different. Instead of a solid block that merges with a frame, each camera sensor protrudes from the body separately. I like both versions, but I still prefer the rear cameras on the S22 and S22 Plus. They seem more unique and stylish. From a practical standpoint, I noticed that the S22 Ultra cameras are more prone to contamination, and it's not so easy to clean these sensors from dust. Let me remind you that the last year's S21 was plastic, but this time all three models are protected by Corning Gorilla Glass Victus Plus front and back, which is good news. Therefore, all three smartphones feel great in your hand. Of course, given the different sizes and the fact that the S22 Ultra is more boxy, smartphones feel different in the hand, but all three give you the full feeling of premium product. The Galaxy S22 and S22 Plus have flat edges and display, while the S22 Ultra has rounded sides and flat top and bottom edges, so it even can stand on its own. It is also noticeably thicker. Unsurprisingly, due to the smaller size of the phone itself, the standard S22 is the lightest of the bunch at 169 grams, while the Ultra is heavier, weighing in at 229 grams. All three have a water resistance rating of IP68 and are made with aluminum. The build quality is amazing for all three models. Now, let's move on to the first significant difference between the phones, and what may be a deciding factor for some potential buyers is screen size. The S22 has a 6.1-inch display, the S22 Plus has a 6.6-inch display, and the S22 Ultra has a 6.8-inch display. Simply put, the standard S22 is what we could consider to be a fairly small flagship, while the S22 Ultra is one of the largest on the market. Again, the S22 Plus is in the middle. That being said, I wouldn't call the S22 Plus a compact or even an average smartphone. This is quite a large device, which is often difficult to use with one hand. Of course, all models use AMOLED panels. The S22 and S22 Plus both features flat LTPS-based panels at a 1080p resolution, with a 48 to 120 Hz adaptive refresh rate. The Galaxy S22 Ultra screen stands out with its higher QHD Plus resolution and more power-efficient LTPO 2.0 technology, which dynamically adjusts the refresh rate from 1 to 120 Hz. It also supports the S Pen stylus, something the two lower models don't have. The S Pen doesn't work with S22 and S22 Plus. The entire S22 lineup features in-display ultrasonic fingerprint scanners. This is the second-gen sensor that Samsung first debuted with the Galaxy S21 last year. It offers better performance than the previous iteration. This is a truly wonderful fingerprint scanner that is always accurate and fast. Finally, Samsung says the phones offer a new so-called Vision Booster that can maintain clarity and color saturation even in brighter environments. The Galaxy S22 Plus and S22 Ultra have a peak brightness of 1750 nits, while the standard Galaxy S22 has a peak brightness of 1300 nits. But you know, 1300 nits is still a lot. For comparison, the iPhone 13 Pro Max can max out at 1200 nits. Therefore, most of the time you will be more than satisfied with the brightness of the S22. Although what the S22 Plus and S22 Ultra offer is absolutely amazing. I have never seen such readability of the display even under direct sunlight. All three phones in the lineup share the same internals. They ship with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 or Exynos 2200 chipset, depending on where you live. My variants use Exynos. Both are fabricated on the 4nm process and a 2000 and a 2020 S22's flagship chips. Based on my case experience, this is a very powerful but rather hot chip, especially in the S22. Apparently, due to the size of the smartphone, it's just physically smaller, which means it has less heat dissipation area. At the same time, I don't feel any critical heating. The system regulates these processes and when necessary limits the performance of the chip so as not to overheat the phone. After all, again, in general, everything is already super fast and works smoothly. The system is very stable. What should pay attention? Choosing the memory configuration. Built-in storage is important to consider as it's basically an indicator of how much content, think photos, videos and files that the phone can hold without having to rely on cloud platforms. The Galaxy S22 and S22 Plus come in two options, 128 or 256GB, but the S22 Ultra has a much bigger variety of variants, 128, 256, 512 and a massive 1TB built-in. The entire series ships with 8GB base RAM, but the 256 plus GB storage variants of the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra are equipped with 12GB RAM. None of the models feature dedicated microSD card slot, so think carefully about how much storage you'll need. Now, another deciding factor for some buyers, the cameras. Well, the S22 and S22 Plus have identical rear camera setups, both rear and front. There is no difference between them. But if we talk about last year's S21 and S21 Plus, then we have a big difference. First, the main sensor is now 50 megapixels instead of 12 megapixels. We also now have a full 10 megapixel telephoto lens with 3x optical zoom. Last year there was a 64 megapixel sensor and just a digital zoom. And as you know, optical zoom is always better than digital. Ultra wide angle remained the same at 12 megapixels. Same for a 10 megapixel selfie camera. Galaxy S22 Ultra doesn't offer a new cameras compared to last year, but it's very different from its siblings in the line. The S22 Ultra has a quad camera setup, boosting the wide angle from 50 to 108 megapixels and adding another 10 megapixel telephoto with a 10x optical zoom. As a result, S22 and S22 Plus offer up to 30x zoom and S22 Ultra up to 100x. But you know, it's just numbers on paper. How is it in practice? Well, in short, I wouldn't say the difference between smartphones is significant. In any case, we get very good photos with accurate colors, a lot of details and a wide dynamic range. I would note that the main camera of the S22 Ultra produces slightly less aggressive and more natural colors. If we talk about night shots, then S22 and S22 Plus often go into pinkish hues, but in general everything is at a very decent level. Good noise control and correct lighting accents. Images at large distances show a big difference as the S22 Ultra delivers sharper, more saturated results, especially after 10x zoom. I also like video on both cameras when we have good lighting, but in low light I can't say the same. There is a lot of noise and therefore the overall result is not impressive. But still, I don't think I'm ready to make the camera a determining factor in choosing between these smartphones. The main camera of the S22 Ultra is a little more pleasant for my taste, but the difference again is not dramatic. The same goes for the selfie camera. The 40 megapixel camera of the S22 Ultra is really good, but the 10 megapixel camera of the S22 and S22 Plus also surprises with its detail and color accuracy. All three phones support the same camera features like 8K video recording and improved portrait mode, pro mode for additional control over various camera aspects and more. Now let's talk about batteries. Smartphone battery life can be tricky to determine with accuracy as it's extremely dependent on how much the handset is being used and what for on a daily basis. Gaming or watching videos all day, you may need to reach for your charger well before another person who has only used the device for checking emails. All three phones in the latest Galaxy series should give you more than a full day of power from a full charge. The S22 has a relatively tiny 3700 mAh battery, the S22 Plus has a 4500 mAh battery and the Ultra has the largest of the three at 5000 mAh. My battery drain tests show the S22 Ultra as the most efficient one. Then goes the S22 Plus and the S22 got the shortest battery life. The Samsung Galaxy S22 Plus and Galaxy S22 Ultra have 45 watts wired charging speeds. On paper, that's nearly twice as fast as last year's models. However, it won't won't be as drastic of a speed difference as you would expect. It's like 10 minutes faster when charging from 0 to 100. The entire range also supports 15 watts wireless charging and 4.5 watts reverse wireless charging. Samsung only bundles a USB-C cable with the phone, so you'll have to purchase the charger separately. A few words about the software. All three phones ship with Android 12 out of the box and One UI 4.1 on top. Samsung guarantees 4 operating system updates up to Android 16 in 2025. It would then see an extra year of security patches before reaching the end of its support cycle. This is the best update policy available in the Android world, even surpassing Google's, which is limited to just 3 Android upgrades. When it comes to day-to-day usage, the three phones will have significant overlap as they all run in the same software, so you will have a similar user experience no matter which one you go for, especially with the S22 and the S22 Plus. The only thing is that the Ultra has some software enhancements based around using the S Pen, such as for making notes or sketches on the go. Also, there's a dedicated pop-up menu if the S Pen is removed and many other things. In general, Samsung's flagships are a great choice for people who value fast, consistent and long-lasting updates. The Galaxy S22 series won't disappoint in this regard. Now, it's time to answer the question, which Galaxy S22 should you buy? Well, first, you need to decide whether you need a top model S22 Ultra at all. So buy the Galaxy S22 Ultra if you want an S Pen, a unique and useful tool that adds another level of functionality. You want a large screen with a resolution of QHD+. You need a versatile camera setup that is good in all aspects, including a large zoom. And you need a phone with excellent battery life. In other words, the S22 Ultra is the top buy. It is the most multi-purpose smartphone you can buy today, but not everyone needs it. Why overpay for something you don't need? Therefore, buy S22 Plus or S22 if you want a great camera, almost the same as the S22 Ultra, but you don't use the zoom functionality too much. You don't like phones with a curved display and the square design. Now, if you have decided that S22 or S22 Plus will suit you, the choice between the other two is very easy. Buy the regular Galaxy S22 if you want a compact flagship, you want an all-rounder phone that's reasonably priced, you are not a power user and don't care much about battery life. However, choose S22 Plus if you need a phone with a relatively large display and you need a solid battery life. Yes, that's all. Other than the sizes of the phones and the sizes of their batteries, the Galaxy S22 and Galaxy S22 Plus are pretty similar. If you want the best of the best though, you want the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. Guys, I hope I managed to answer your questions. Anyway, let me know in the comment section below your thoughts. Maybe someone already uses the S22 series smartphone, then be sure to share your impressions. Thanks for watching and goodbye.